Hello everyone, King Comic here, and today I have purchased the DC animated film Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1. Now, I am a huge fan of these DC animated films, especially the ones that are adapted from existing comic book storylines. I'm a huge fan of the Long Halloween comic series. I'm a huge fan of Tim Sale's artwork. Now, initially, when I saw the trailer and saw that they didn't quite encapsulate Tim Sale's artwork, I was pretty disappointed. But we're going to take a look, I'm going to watch the movie, and I'm going to give you my full review of what I thought of Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1. Here we go.
King Comic.
Alright, so I have just viewed Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1, and these are my initial thoughts. First things first, the art style. A lot of my initial opinions on the art style have not changed from my views on viewing the trailer. I really am a huge fan of the Tim Sale art style, and I would have liked to seen a lot more of that into this animated movie. Tim Sale has such a unique art style, and The Long Halloween isn't The Long Halloween without that artistic uniqueness. Now, I do believe some of the other Batman animated films took more of an effort to try to retain their source material artistic style, like Dark Knight Returns, Year One, even The Killing Joke. But with saying that, there's a couple things I noticed watching this film. The background specifically had more of this gradient color tone to match, like washes and watercolors and that style that was in Long Halloween, as well as they did make an effort to try to do something unique with the art style. I mean, as a whole, when you watch this movie, the art style is very unique. It's not Tim Sale art style, but it is something that is unique, and I do respect that. For the most part, this art style really worked in the animation. There are a couple times where I felt that was a little maybe a little iffy, but as a whole, I did enjoy the art style. Not a huge fan of the Joker segments. There was a lot of good stuff in the Joker segments, don't get me wrong, but mostly the character design, I think it just seemed a little off. Now, moving on to the voice acting. The voice acting was phenomenal in this movie. I really enjoyed it. They really did a good job casting. Initially, I felt Josh Duhamel was an odd choice for Harvey Dent, but upon watching the movie, he really did retain that strength Harvey Dent has, but also this, mental illness that he has inside of him. It's such a balance with the character, and I felt that the voice acting of Josh Duhamel handled that really well. Now, the standout voice acting in this film for me, there was two that really hit home for me, and I mean, we've got to talk about Jensen Ackles as Batman. He was a home run. Honestly, he solidified himself in the DC universe as Jason Todd, the Red Hood. And it was such an iconic performance in the Red Hood animated film that people wanted to see Jensen Ackles play him in a live action film performance, and I don't disagree. So when I saw that Jensen Ackles was going to be playing Batman in this, I was kind of confused to a very exaggerated degree. It's almost as if hiring Mark Hamill, who's so well known as the Joker, to play the Riddler in a Batman animated film. It's such an odd choice. But when I watched this, Jensen Ackles, I just did not make that connection. I had to keep on reminding myself, oh yeah, this is the guy that played the Red Hood. And he just did such a good job of Bruce Wayne, of Batman. Now, the other standout voice acting was from a side character, the villain Calendar Man, who was played by, now I cannot pronounce this name, David Dastmalchian? David Dastmalchian. And I hope I'm not butchering that too much. He is no stranger to the DC universe. He's playing Polka Dot Man in James Gunn's Suicide Squad. I do get a sense that he is a comic book nerd himself, but his performance as Calendar Man was eerie, was chilling, was amazing. It encapsulated Hannibal Lecter, it encapsulated Batman villains, Arkham Asylum. It was fantastic. And lastly, I want to talk about the story. As someone that knows The Long Halloween so much, as someone who's read it as much as I have, I've got to say the main thing about Long Halloween is the mystery, as solving this huge mystery in Gotham City. And going into it, knowing how it all ends, it did a fantastic job of keeping me on my feet. They took so many liberties with the storyline, which I'm totally fine with. There's a lot of fans out there that need that purist, it has to be exactly like the source material. I'm not quite like that. I personally feel that I've already seen that storyline, I've read that storyline, I've consumed it. I want something different, so I don't mind these tweaks and changes as long as it doesn't get too out of hand. And I felt this animated film did a good job of that. By the end of it, going into it knowing how the mystery ends, it made me question, maybe they're going to do something different. Maybe everything I know about this storyline is going to be shaken up. And I thought that was super cool. So I felt that they did a great job with that. Overall, I'm very pleased with this film. I don't think it's as high up as Dark Knight Returns Part 1 or Part 2. But I do think it's up there with Batman Year One, with Flashpoint Paradox, with Killing Joke, with The Red Hood. It's up there. I love these DC animated films, especially these Batman ones, that are focused on existing comic book storylines. Cannot wait to see what they do with Part 2. Let me know what you all think of Part 1. Let me know what you loved about it, what you didn't love about it, the differences between the animated film and the comic book. Once Part 2 comes out, I will be making another review video on that. So in the meantime, take care of yourselves and bye for now.